I did my work this week. Woo! And baby, I just got paid. Gonna go buy me a fresh pair of Gators with some of this money that I made. Man, waiters on the radio singing about the whiskey. I think I'll go by the stove to get me a bottle so I can be ready to get my groove on the dance floor. Baby, baby, it's Friday, 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 baby. And I'm gonna party, party, and get my groove on, get my groove on. It's Friday, Friday, baby. Oh, and I'm gonna party to the break of dawn.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. I hope everyone is having a good Friday. We're doing the show live on a Friday. And I want to let you know before we get started that this show is powered by BETUS. You can sign up today, get up to 150% on your first deposit, up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000 of them things. Use the promo code YouTube150. And if you go to BETUS, you will see that the New Orleans Saints are a 13-point underdog ahead of their game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Saints season finale, because we all know that the Saints season will officially be over at the end of that game. But we're going to be talking about that game on this episode, and I am not going to be here very long. I just honestly want to get your opinion about it. We're going to be talking about a little bit of some conflicted type thoughts, right? Especially for me. I'll use myself as an example when it comes to confliction. All right. Now we all know I spare no expense at going at them Atlanta Falcon fans. Y'all know how I feel about the Falcons, man. Y'all know how I feel about them fans, how lukewarm they are, how frost and flaky they could be. We all know that, right? But, you know, I'm thinking about the tragic event that happened on New Year's, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard about it. It's national news. People are, FBI, federal government calling it an act of terror. And, you got people that lost their lives. 15 people lost their lives to a senseless act. I mean, just absolutely heinous and vicious and evil act. And the city is hurting right now, man. I mean, you think about Bourbon Street, you think about the French Quarter, Canal Street, you think about, how many times have you been down there, right? I mean, for Mardi Gras, Bayou Classic, Sugar Bowl, New Year's Eve. I mean, this could have been any one of us. Like, let's just call it for what it is. So, there's a little bit of a confliction for me, because I feel like the city is hurting, and we all know that during the times when the city hurts, we rely on the New Orleans Saints to come through for the squad. I mean, for a squad, I mean the city, right? We expect the squad to come through for the squad, which is the city. And, I mean, on one hand, I look at it like if you win this football game, you help out your bitter rival, the Atlanta Falcons. But on the other hand, you might inspire somebody that's hurting and uplift the city that is in pain right now. So I want to know where you stand. I want to know where you stand. Like, should the New Orleans Saints, or are you looking for the New Orleans Saints to go out there and be inspired and go out there and try to put forth the best effort they can to knock off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because although the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have beaten some teams that are playoff bound, they are by no means world beaters. It's not like if the New Orleans Saints can't go out there and slap around Tampa and force a turnover or actually score some points. I mean, this is a division game. Like, everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody's secrets and tendencies. They play each other countless times. So it's not like the Saints can't beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Question is, how do you feel after the situation that happened in New Orleans? Does it change your mind about what the Saints should do on Sunday? I just want to hear from you. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. Like I said, man, it's not going to be a long show at all. I'll go ahead and take a few calls. And the only thing that I ask, because I'm trying to keep the show between 40 to 45 minutes. All right. If you're long-winded, like a preacher saying that he's about to come to a close about 3 or 4 times, I'm going to have to cut you short. All right. I'm just asking you to get your little spiel in, and we're going to move on to the next person. All right. I know some of us get a little bit long-winded. I like talking to people. I really do. I really do appreciate everybody that comes through the spot, but we want to make sure that we kind of do this thing in decent and in order, as the good bishop would say at your local Baptist church. We're going to do this. We want to do this decent and in order. All right. So let me go ahead and drop the link. So if you want to chime in, please do. But I want to hear from you, man, because I know that this changes, quite a few things here. I mean, especially like when it comes, like when, question was asked about Cam Jordan. And, he said, they want to play inspired for the city. And, I can understand it. And although, like, I wouldn't even be upset. Like, at that point, like, I wouldn't even be upset. Like, now, if these tragic circumstances didn't rear their ugly head, trust and believe. This is like, what a absolute evil individual that guy was. But I mean, that's the only thing that I would sit up here and understand, for them to be playing inspired football because of that. Like, that's the only way. Like, going out there slapping around Tampa for no reason at all, for no incentive at all, to help out the Falcons. Yuck. Absolutely. But I got the link inside of the comments. Feel free to chime in. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and read some of these comments. It says, man, y'all got to rally for the city and win one for the Big Gipper. Says Courtney, or who is a Falcon fan. Look, I said it. Like, that's the only reason I can honestly accept. I can accept the fact that the New Orleans Saints go out there and play hard because they're trying to inspire the city. I mean, if it was just a random, like just a random game, you ain't playing for nothing. You're not going to the postseason. You ain't, there's no incentive whatsoever. I mean, I would be like, man, what are y'all doing? Like, this game it's not even a guarantee that this will change the Saints draft position. Like, it don't even change anything like that. It doesn't change nothing. Like, there's a possibility that the Saints could beat Tampa and still be at 10. They lose to Tampa and they still be at pick number 10. So I would have to say, man, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But The Falcons just overlooking the Panthers like they just that good. Well, I tell you what. Now, I already said on yesterday's episode, and please feel free because we had a really good time on that episode. But I said, wouldn't it be funny if the New Orleans Saints go out there and beat Tampa and the Falcons lose to the Carolina Panthers? Oh my goodness, that would be hilarious. But that would be the Falcons, though. I mean, that would be such a Falcon thing, that would actually happen. Says go Panthers and go and Bucs. Man, we're blowing horn out here in front of my house. Hold on one second. My bad. As I was saying, my next door neighbor, I guess it hit the panic button by mistake. But anyway, where do you stand? Like, where do you stand? Like, I feel free to put your comments in the chat how you feel about the situation. I get it, TJ, an emotional win, but no. I see. What's up? Says I expect for Trump to send Black Ops and Navy SEAL teams for intel. I don't know what that's about. Says even if they Falcons make the playoff, they won't do anything. That's a good point, but still, they don't deserve. Like, honestly, let's just call it. Let's just call a spade a spade. The Falcons don't deserve to make the postseason, just like the Saints don't deserve to win anything, right? I mean, it's just the truth. Like, this was a team at one time was 6-3. They were undefeated versus the NFC South. I mean, they had like a 2.5 game lead on Tampa, 3-game lead on the Saints. I mean, just like far and away from Carolina. And they lost 4 straight games. Like, they have nobody to blame but themselves, man. Nobody. Like, the fact that we even having this conversation is just downright sad. Like, that I can understand. Like, that is that's unbelievable, man. The fact that they even need help at this point. Like, it's almost like the story of the tortoise and a hare, right? Like how the tortoise just shot off. I mean, a hare just shot off, and the tortoise just slow and steady down the road, slow and steady. And then all of a sudden the hare decides to take a nap, right? And right now, the Falcons are waking up and they look at the tortoise and he almost at the finish line. And they got nobody to blame but themselves, because if they would have handled up on business, stood on business earlier in the season, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I just find that's hilarious in its own right. That's just downright hilarious, man. The fact that we even at this particular point right now. But like I said, man, that's the only reason I think I can accept, man. I understand about playing inspired, because it kind of reminds me when Tampa came into the Superdome a few weeks back, earlier in the season, and they dropped 51 points on the Saints. I mean, they were coming into the Superdome dealing with tragedy. They had a hurricane that just absolutely wrecked the Florida Panhandle. I mean, and people lost homes. Shouts out to my guy James, my co-host over there, NFC South Roundtable. His neighborhood, his community was affected by it. When these type of things happen, you rely on sports to kind of get you away from those things, and you definitely looking for your squad to come through in the clutch, right? But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go to Dalton. Dalton, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, man. Thanks for chiming in. I apologize I couldn't get to you yesterday, man.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I understand it's like New Year's week, and I just didn't know it was already kind of like 1 hour or something. I just didn't know it was already that.
Yeah, man. But glad to talk to you today, man. Happy New Year's to you. How did you enjoy your New Year's? What did you do for New Year's Eve?
First of all, thanks for New Year's Day. I mean, I had a good time. I was staying home, watching TV, that stuff, and I went out to get something to eat.
Okay. All right. Sound like a plan, man. I was a little bit of a homebody myself, man. We just kind of, I got like this tradition, Dalton, where, I don't want to go into the new year in a dirty house. So I just clean up my entire house the whole day, man. Because I wanted to make sure that my house was as clean as possible going into the new year. I'm kind of superstitious when it comes to that type of stuff, but I'm glad that you had a really good new year, man. And once again, happy new year to you. But what you got for us?
Thank you. Happy New Year to you. And first of all, prayers to the New Orleans victims and family, community, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Also about the Saints and the Bucs. For some reason, I got a gut feeling the Saints going to pull 2020 the Eagles. The reason I'm saying this, though, remember like the last game, it was the Eagles and whatever Washington team was, you called it.
Right.
Remember, if Washington wins, they're in. But if the Eagles win, the Giants win the NFC East.
Right.
Well, you know how Saints and the Falcons were rivalry?
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling the Saints might put Spencer Rattler on the bench during quarter and pull like maybe Jake Hayner, and that's they're going to try to lose on purpose.
So you talking about like with Jalen Hurts, when Jalen Hurts was a starter and they took Jalen Hurts out and they put in Nick Sedgefield. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's got a gut feeling because of how Saints and the Falcons are rivalry.
Oh man, Nate Sedgefield, man. Oh man, you brought me back with that one. Hey man, that was one of the funny. Like, I don't know if you ever checked out that post-game press conference by Doug Peterson, but I don't know, man. It was just like you knew that he was lying, but the way that he was talking, like it was like a brilliant idea. And every time like I hear that press conference and his excuse for taking Jalen Hurts out the game for Ned Sedgefield, I mean, oh my goodness, I just cry laughing. It's funny you said that because I think I looked for that clip maybe like a couple of weeks ago, just because I mean the situation was just so unbelievable. But I definitely agree with you, Dalton. The fact that I think that the Saints' hatred for the Falcons, I think their hatred completely like trumps this thing for the Bucs. So that's the way I feel about it. I definitely feel like they probably going to try to. I think they're gonna play, but they ain't gonna just do everything they can to win a football game. I think they're gonna do everything they can for it to look respectable, though.
I'll agree with that. And also, I was gonna say something. Anything's possible, though. I mean, never know. Panthers could beat the Falcons, though, as well.
Yeah, look. Man, I think a lot of people are underestimating the Panthers. I think they looked at the fact how the Panthers played last week. But, man, the Panthers played Kansas City tough. They played Philadelphia tough. Like this is a team, man. They ain't just going to bow down to you. Like, it wouldn't surprise me, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that Carolina win the football game over Atlanta. Like, and honestly, I feel like Dave Canales is a better coach than Raheem Morris is. I mean, that's just the truth. And I feel like he'll probably have those guys inspired to try to win that football game. I think that they're going to try to do everything they can to beat the Falcons. And that would be hilarious if the Saints somehow win against Tampa and the Falcons lose against Carolina and they still don't make the playoffs. That would be hilarious.
And I do got a question, though.
Uh-huh.
Let's say if the Panthers do win and the Saints lose, no matter what, though, are we still in the 10th pick no matter what?
Well, you still need some things to kind of go your way. You need some losses, I want to say, from a few teams that are let me see. Let me go ahead and pull up Tankathon real quick. So there are some scenarios where the Saints can move up, but they're not going to move up to like 5 or 4 or anything like that, right? It's gonna be probably no more than maybe 7 or 8, maybe. That's probably what you're looking at. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, all right, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can actually see it too, Dalton. Give me a second here, and here we go. All right, so can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so here we go right here. Okay, so you see the Saints at number 10. They're 5 and 11. All right, if they lose to Tampa, then they'll be 5 and 12. You probably would jump. Well, you'll jump the Vegas Raiders because you lost that head-to-head there. The Jets, if they end up winning, then you possibly can switch places with them due to their wins. But at best, you'll probably have a situation where you can't jump Chicago. You can't jump them. So you at best you're probably looking at maybe moving up to number 8 or at best 7. So you would need for Vegas. Honestly, you would need Vegas to win. You will also need the Jets to win. And, I don't think Chicago winning would benefit you at all. So those are the two teams that you have to look at. And also, I don't even think like Carolina. So if Carolina was to beat Atlanta, the Saints still wouldn't be able to jump Carolina, even though, they split. But the Saints, beat the Cowboys. And, Carolina didn't beat the Cowboys. It's a few things. So at best, you can move up to maybe 8. At the best, 7. So.
Okay. I mean, the reason why I was asking, because, I was going to talk about yesterday, about this whole draft thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Saints should get maybe Mason Graham or Will Johnson. But if we're gone, people keep saying the edge, Carter from Penn State or Pierce. I got a wild card name. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Starks from Georgia, because we need upgrade safety, because Honey Badger, he's getting old. We don't know if Will Harris is going to be on the Saints next year because he's a free agent.
Right.
We don't know if Howland is a long-term answer. But I think we need to get Starks, though, if Mason Graham or Will Johnson's not there. I mean, if they're gone before us.
Yeah, I mean, but Dalton, on a lot of draft boards, they have the New Orleans Saints taking Malachi Starks. I want to say maybe Phil Yates. I think maybe his board had the Saints taking Malachi Starks. Now it could have changed because these draft boards kind of fluctuate a little bit based on like performance and needs, etc. But I seen Malachi Starks. Of course, I know we've seen him play against Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl on yesterday. If you're watching this on a Friday, on Thursday, but yeah, I think that he's good, man. He has really good cover skills. He's a good sound tackler. He's not afraid to get in there. He's a guy that I feel like the Saints could definitely use. But I have to go with your first selection with Mason Graham. Look, Dalton, I mean, since Davon Yamada has left, the Saints have had issues stopping the run. I mean, we know that the Saints went on this historic run at stopping the run, 2 years without allowing a 100-yard rusher. Now it just seems like anybody can get 100 yards. I mean, literally anybody. I mean, Amir Abdullah has never had 100 yards in his entire career, and he's been in the league for a decade. So I think that you definitely need someone that can be a little bit of a run stuffer. I like Brian Brzee. I think that you hit with him, but it's unfortunate he's not the best run-stopping defensive end. He's a really good pass-rushing defensive tackle, but you need a little bit more help there. I want to see if the New Orleans Saints are going to use Brian Brzee next year more so on the outside to be able to maybe rush the passer and some of those NASCAR packages. I just think that the Saints may need to do something like that because as an interior lineman, I think he struggles a little bit.
Agreed. I mean, especially with Mason Graham, I just don't know if he'll be there at the Saints pick, though. And speaking about that, though,
yeah.
One defensive-minded coach is nobody wants, though. What would happen if the Saints drafted Jesse Mentor and get Mason Graham and Will Johnson? Because remember, he's familiar with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I don't like. Honestly, I'm not too sure. All I know is, man, this is one of those drafts, Dalton. It doesn't matter like what they get. It doesn't matter who they get. Like they need so much help at so many different positions. Will Johnson, to me, I don't know if he's going to be there for you. I don't. I look at Jacksonville. I look at Carolina. I look at some of these other teams out there. That need help in their secondary, and I don't think the Saints are going to be able to touch him. Mason Graham, to me, it could be one of those situations where he could fall to the New Orleans Saints. And that's why I'm looking at him mostly, especially when we talk about run stopping. And Malachi Starks, to me, definitely can, because you don't really see too many teams drafting safeties in the top 10. So, those are two guys that I feel like could fall to the New Orleans Saints. Let me pull this mock draft board up. The draft board up real quick so we can take a look at it again. I mean, you look at New England. If New England stays there, they're probably going to get Travis Hunter. Tennessee, they're probably going to get rather Cam Ward or Shadir Sanders. Cleveland is probably going to get the one that Tennessee doesn't get. The Giants, that's going to kind of leave them without, getting a quarterback. So they'll probably go after Will Johnson. They need somebody to go opposite of their stud cornerback. And then you have some guys that need some pass rushing help. Abdul Carter could go to Jacksonville. You probably have one of those situations. I don't see Carolina necessarily need him. Neither do I see the Jets. So, I mean, this could be one of those situations where Mason Graham could fall to you. And if not, then I definitely can see them getting a guy that you called the sleeper, which is Malachi Starks.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also about the playoffs against Notre Dame and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, thank you for Notre Dame. I think they're underrated, though.
Yeah.
And
I do. I definitely do as well, Dalton.
And also, he may not leave, though. I'm not going to lie. I really want Marcus Freeman as the Saints head coach.
Yeah, I mean, he showed me something yesterday, Dalton. That's why I commented on X while I was watching the game. I saw, the thing about it is, what I liked about it is not the fact that nobody expected Notre Dame to win and everybody thought Georgia was just going to come in there and slap around Notre Dame, because Notre Dame wasn't necessarily, they don't have a reputation for being a tough physical football team, right? But you look at the strategic methods of Marcus Freeman, like the way that he approached the game. He outcoached Kirby Smart, and that's something that you don't see a lot of coaches do. I was more impressed about the way that he won the battle of wits over Kirby Smart, man. And his football team looked way more physical than Georgia did. So that to me, that kind of catapulted him, to at least get in an interview. I'm not saying that he should be the coach, but you definitely should interview him, because it seems like he's a really good football mind. This thing could have easily went off the rails, Dalton, when they lost to Northern Illinois, early in the season. Like you only had one loss, and that's to Northern Illinois. But he turned this thing around, and he has those guys playing really good. Man, he got Riley Leonard. He has him like more of a game manager. You got a really good running attack, and they play really good sound defense, and they have two talented cornerbacks on that football team. So you got to give him credit, man. And I would not be surprised if he continues to do the things that he's doing in Notre Dame. Wouldn't surprise me at all if his name comes up for a head coaching job.
Agreed. And speaking of that, there's one thing I'm kind of worried about. No matter what, whether it's Marcus Freeman or James Franklin or Kirby Smart or Dan Lanning, if they go NFL head coaching jobs, I want to ask your opinion, though. What has gone wrong with them? Like, why does college head coaches don't pan out in the NFL? Do you think it's a curse or something?
No, not necessarily. I think it's the style. I think it's the style because, not anymore. I think probably now more than ever, you may be able to have college coaches be able to perform better in the NFL. And this is why, because you're dealing with the NIL now. You're dealing with college athletes and money. You can't, you don't have to worry about money. You didn't have to worry about guys leaving, going to other universities. You basically had everything at your disposal. But now you have the NIL out there. You can't just come in a college guy's face, a 4 or 5 star athlete and chew them out anymore, And I think that was one of the reasons why those guys didn't pan out, because, you're dealing with kids and you can chew them out, but it's hard for you to go out here and be chewing out a grown man who got 3 kids at home, So I think that is the disconnect between college coaches and the NFL. But I think now that you're dealing with money, you're dealing with players on a different level, on a different scale, I think that you probably would see more college coaches perform better in a professional ranks, because they're actually dealing with college athletes, kind of similar to how you're dealing with professional athletes. I mean, when you think about the transfer portal, that's nothing but free agency. Guys, soliciting certain amounts of money, teams throwing certain amount of money, programs throwing certain amount of money and incentives to those players, kind of similar to what some of these professional teams do during free agency. So I think you'll see more college coaches be able to transition better to the pros, because now you have to deal with those guys kind of similar to how you do professional athletes.
I think so too. Yeah, but even though he won't go to NFL, though, I say Marcus Freeman should be interviewed at Saints for at least. Though, I know we don't, probably not going to hire him. I know it'd be a miracle if we did, but it'd be nice if we hire him because I think he's one of the best college coaches. I think he's underrated. I mean, thanks to him though, they turned Notre Dame around. Though, Brian Kelly, like he's way overrated.
Yeah. Look, I said this. I said this also. I just think, man, Brian Kelly to me, he's a coach that is going to win a lot of games, but he's not going to win you the game. Like if he was coaching Notre Dame, they probably would have lost by 20 points. It's the identity, Dalton, that won Notre Dame that game. It's a different type of style that they were playing with. That physicality. That's not what you saw with a Brian Kelly-led Notre Dame team. They were good. They were well coached. But when it came to, the physicality of college football, I think that they lacked. And honestly, that's what we've been seeing from LSU. I mean, teams take on the identity of their coach. And I think that, LSU is good, but I don't think that they're going to reach that level of greatness, unfortunately, because Brian Kelly, because you need that coach that's going to help you take it to the next level. And I think that there's a level that Brian Kelly takes LSU or any college program to, but you got to be able to have the balls to be able to knock down a wall. And I don't think that he's teaching that. I think he teaches great fundamentals. I think he teaches guys how to be professional. But at the end of the day, you need something else, an extra gear, in order for you to be hoisting a college football national championship trophy. And I question if he's that coach to be able to get you there.
Right.
But Dalton, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for chiming in, man. Hopefully, I made up for our conversation we didn't have on last episode.
That's all good. Thank you for having me on the show. And also, I know we're on January 3rd. Happy New Year, y'all, to y'all. Yeah. And prayers for y'all. And it's good talking to you, TJ.
Yeah, man. Likewise, Dalton. You take care, man.
All right, you too.
Yeah. Man, yeah, shouts out to Dalton, man. Really good football mind right there, as y'all can see. Not just about Saints football, but just all around, man. Love talking to Dalton, man. Know I'm always, get a really good perspective about the overall game of football. But, man, I got some great news. Starting next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, I should say, every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, your boy Timothy J. Jones, will be having Saints Talk with Timothy J. Jones on Bleacher Report. It is official. Talked to the members of Bleacher Report on last night, and we made this thing official. Every single Wednesday on Bleacher Report will be an episode of Saints Talk with Timothy J. Jones throughout the entire offseason. And I am going to try to make that show the best show possible with guests, just fun antics. Y'all know how we do it. Just basically going to take the State of the Saints podcast and bring it over there to Bleacher Report, man. It is such an honor and a privilege to be working with such a major network, major streaming platform. For anybody that knows where I came from, man, I came from absolutely nothing when it came to this podcast and the streaming thing, and getting an opportunity to work with Bleacher Report is an extreme honor. Been with them for this entire 2024 season, and just the consistency and the love that you all have shown and the interactions that you have shown by going and checking out those videos. They've given me an opportunity to be the official Saints representative, every single Wednesday throughout the off season as well as the regular season, and every post game of the New Orleans Saints. So I'm extremely excited about it. Looking forward to it. Hopefully I won't let y'all down. Definitely want to bring some guests on the show that we can talk about Saints football, get you all ready for the NFL draft, get you all ready for the NFL combine. We want to do those things, man. So thank you all so much for believing in your boy and supporting me throughout the years. And everywhere I go, y'all going with me. All right. So make sure that you follow me on Bleacher Report. All you have to do basically is go to Bleacher Report, download that app. There's a selection where you can pick your favorite team, select the New Orleans Saints, and you'll be able to check out all of the content that I put out that pertains to the team. So make sure that you check it out. Make sure you support. Once again, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'll have more information for you all. We'll even have tutorials so everybody can be on the same page. Because I was talking to my mom on yesterday, and she was talking about how difficult it is to kind of find me on Bleacher Report. So we'll get this thing nipped in the bud so everybody can be able to check it out and enjoy Saints Talk. All right. But let me go ahead and read some more of your comments here. Then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But thank you to the fine folks at BETUS once again. Make sure that you check out BETUS. There's 150% sign-up bonus for your first deposit, up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. All you have to do is use the promo code U2 150 by going to their website or downloading the BETUS app. Jared says, Rizzy gonna have them boys ready, upset on the way, because if the Aints were playing the Falcons with the playoffs on the line, Breeze, Michael Thomas, and even Deuce would try to play. Well, that is true, but the Saints ain't making it to the playoffs. So it may looks, well, y'all ain't making it to the playoffs, all right? That's just what it is. I apologize. I'm sorry that you feel some type of way. I'm sorry that you may be hurt by the situation, but look, man, the Saints ain't doing no Falcons no favors. I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't do the Saints the favor, okay? That's the hatred, the vitriol that these two organizations have towards one another. I mean, so I don't see that happening. You can't talk it in. You can't talk it into existence. But if the Saints go out there and they play inspired due to the tragedies that I was just alluding to, you might get what you want. But Jared, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says congrats and respect to you, TJ. You earned it. You all always rise up in everything you do. Let's get this win Sunday. I like what you did, man. But we ain't doing it, man. We ain't doing it, bro. We ain't gonna do it for you, man. Don't make me play the song, man. Don't make me play the song, okay? Don't make me play the song, man. They say I'm like TJ this season, sick, but I'm still the same fan through and through, win or lose. Look, man, I'll be walking around with my Saints hat on and stuff like that, and people like just thanking me. You know what I'm saying? Like we won something. Like, man, thank you, man. Like I was in Walmart on, what was it, yesterday? Or maybe it was the day before. And I had my Saints hat on, of course, and the guy was like, man, thank you for the lockdown. And I was like, huh? He was like, yeah, Lattimore. I'm like, oh, man, okay, man, appreciate it. So I'm like the other day, and I'm walking through the mall, and I see two Tampa Bay fans walk up in there, and I got my Saints hat on, and they're like, man, there's like, y'all gonna let us in this weekend? I said, man, that's what it looks like. So, man, I don't know, man. It seemed like even though the Saints aren't looking too good, people like, I guess they pretty happy. You know what I'm saying? The fact that, the Saints are able to help them out in certain situations. But it's funny, man. It's funny to think about. But all in all, man, look, it's been a disaster of a season, but I mean, it doesn't change the way I feel about the team. I mean, I've been a Saints fan since, I'm gonna just say I was 4 years old, because I mean that's as far as you probably can, if you remember stuff when you're 3 and 2, man, get yourself tested because you might be a genius. But being around like 4 years old, I can just remember like sitting on my grandmother's floor. Because she ain't play that sitting on that couch now, you know what I'm saying? She ain't play that, you know what I'm saying? You sit on the floor, kids sit on the floor. But, sitting there watching the game, when they were blacked out, I listened to the game. I tell y'all that all the time. It's the reason I got into broadcasting in the first place. I don't think I would have had the passion and love for broadcasting as I do if the New Orleans Saints, if they didn't, if they didn't stink. Those games were blacked out. It wasn't like, oh man, I got the NFL Sunday ticket. No, if your team sucked, you couldn't watch them locally. You had to like listen to them on the radio. Like you had to check out Hokie Gajan and Jim Henderson back in the day. But that's how I used to roll. You know what I'm saying? 1990. Armando, that's I was 4 years old in 1990. I was born in 1986. So yeah, man. I mean, this doesn't hurt me. Like some of you all, this might be new territory to you, but not to me. Not to me at all. You know, like I didn't see the Saints. I didn't see the Saints look worse than this. I just think that it's just a shock to some of y'all because y'all haven't really experienced the New Orleans Saints looking as bad as they do. But I have, and probably luckily I did, because I know that they got to have better days ahead. I don't think the Saints are too far off. I just think that the Saints need a little bit more direction, man. I mentioned yesterday, and I stand by this. I don't care. Like Mickey Loomis is causing the Saints hardship. He had to be able to get out of his own way, and he got to be able to get some guys in here with some fresh ideas. And you got to be able to get the right coach in here and right quarterback. Look, I'm not ready to give up on Spencer Rattler at all. I feel like some of the things that has happened, Spencer Rattler needs to work on. But on the other hand, I don't think that this coaching staff has done them any favors either. You can go back and check out the State of the Saints podcast archives, and you'll have me on an episode or 2 or 3 saying that the New Orleans Saints are an organization structured for already proven products, guys that are already ready to play. They can't and have not been able to develop guys consistently inside of this organization. That's just the reality. That's just the truth. Like you think about all these other guys that have left and reached their full potential. Meanwhile, the Saints around here got these guys on the struggle bus. That's why I think that we have to kind of take the time and maybe reflect a little bit and maybe not be so hard on these players because maybe it's really not them. Like maybe Isaiah Foskey leaves a lot to be desired right now, but he's not terrible. Not to a point where if he was to go to another team that can coach him better, that he wouldn't play. Or some of these other guys that we're seeing struggle. So to me, Mickey Loomis, like he needs to get out of his own way. He needs to stop acting like he got about 6 Super Bowls sitting up in a foyer somewhere and allow these guys to come in to be able to turn this thing around. Like I think they need some young, hungry executives inside of there. He is the main guy at the top that understands football. Dennis Lauscher doesn't really understand football. Shouts out to Big Q for breaking this stuff down. And Ms. Gail Benson, like she's not really a football person like that either. She just inherited a team from her late husband, the late Tom Benson. So I'm not expecting for her to sit up here and know, everything about football. And I just feel like that ain't even right for us to actually sit up here and get angry at someone that doesn't really, that don't eat, sleep, and breathe it like that. Like, that's just not her. Like if she wasn't married to Tom Benson, she wouldn't be around football. I don't think she would. She'll probably go to a game or something like that, but I don't think that she would be as instrumental inside of sports as she is. So I'm looking at it like, man, Mickey Loomis knows that nobody can really talk X's and O's and players and all that kind of stuff like he does when it comes to the people at the tippy top of the Saints pecking order. And he kind of using it to his advantage. And I think that, it kind of shocked him and he was taken back. The reason why I think that if you read between the lines of that statement, when Dennis Allen got fired, it was a lot of zest in that. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of sassiness in that. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of bitterness, pettiness in that statement. Because, he ain't used to nobody really hitting his hand. You know what I'm saying? Like he used, you ever had that kid, you know what I'm saying, that feel like they can just get anything they want? Trust me, I'm raising one. But and sometimes, like you be eating something and all of a sudden they just hit, they just go right there and get in that bag and they try to get that chip and like, oh boy, you got to slap his hand, man. Don't get in my bag like that. And, you know, they kind of look at you like, I can't believe they hit me. That's kind of what he on. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what he on. Like, you know, like he ain't used to nobody like really, you know, undermining him or basically going over his head. You know, he ain't used to that. Like he ain't used to that. You know, so it was probably one of those situations where he's kind of taken back. You know, I mean, look, man, I ain't the one that sit up here and sugarcoat, man. I'm just telling y'all what y'all already know. I'm not saying that Mickey Loomis don't know football. I think he does. But I just think that there was some things that covered up his imperfections for a long time. And when you cover up people's imperfections for a very, very long time, they have a tendency of believing that they're better, smarter, more creative than they actually are. And I'm not saying that he isn't creative. I'm not saying that he's not a smart football mind. I'm just saying everybody needs help. I don't care if you've been at a job 10, 12 years, you know where all the bodies are buried, you know how to get to everything. Guess what? There's going to come a time where you're going to need somebody's help. That's just reality. And I just think that we're at this point. You're looking at all of these young GMs that coming into the league that has that young energy, that thinks differently. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to like recruit some of these free agents to come over, to be able to bring some of this young talent in, you know, because they are up all night, you know what I'm saying, looking for ways to make themselves stand out, to make their organization stand out. You know, I look at the Rams general manager. I look at the Green Bay Packers general manager. I look at since Ozzie Newsome stepped down in Baltimore, you know, how they're still getting talent. This is how you build teams. Like if we're talking about getting the Saints out of the dark ages of Saints football, this is how you do it. Like free agency and all that kind of stuff and looking here and looking there. Like you want to look for free. Like it's like this, right? The draft is like you owning a home, right? You got the house. You built this joint, right? Every pillar in here, right? Every pillar in here, you had a hand in, right? From the wall colors to the cabinets to the bathtub to the you know positioning of the staircase, all these things, right? That is what the draft is. It is you building your infrastructure. Free agency to me is like now that the house is built, okay, you know what I'm saying? We got some furniture in here. All right, man, I need an entertainment center right here. Okay, I think this entertainment center will complement this nice TV that I mounted to my wall. That is what I feel like free agency is. If you're looking at free agency and you're looking at it like you're going to build a house with that, then I feel like that is absolutely insane. And I feel like you're not building your organization the right way. You got to build it through the draft. 2017 was in the success the Saints had after that. That was not an outlier. That is the reality of what a team can actually look like when you're drafting the right way. The Saints had more success in that span than they ever had, ever. Think about that. By getting Kamara, by getting Lattimore, by getting Marcus Williams, by getting Trey Hendrickson, by getting Muhammad, by getting Alex Anzalone in that draft, they were able to utilize those guys. Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore won offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Marcus Williams led the team in interceptions. You had Trey Hendrickson coming off the bench. Like that is how you do it. Alex Anzalone was in the starting lineup. That is how you build this team. So to me, you have no room for error. You have no room for error, folks. You got to be able to hit the ground running. Like right now, you should be on your you should be in Mobile already. Like the Senior Bowl is in what, like 2 weeks? You should be there at least a week before. And I know you should have some scouts at some of these bowl games. I'm talking about the Sugar Bowl, Gator Bowl, the San Diego Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl, if that still exists, the Pop-Tart Bowl. They need to be there. because that is how you're going to get yourself out of this situation. If you're going to sit up here and look comfortable with your hands in your pockets, and maybe you're Jeff Island and you're staring at your Executive of the Year trophy that's collecting dust that you won about 4 or 5 years ago, you're going to find yourself in the same position. Changes need to be made, man. And people need to start to be uncomfortable. That's just the reality, man. When you're losing and sucking like this, you got to be able to get uncomfortable in order for you to get comfortable again. And you may not want to hear some of the conversations that come out of my mouth, Nick Underhill's mouth, Ross Jackson's mouth, you know what I'm saying, the Saints beat writers' mouth, like Matt Moscona. Like, you may not want to hear this, but the reality is you need to hear this, because this is the pulse of the fan base. They are the pulse of the fan base. They are speaking for the fan base. I know I am. So at the end of the day, like, you can't just sit up here and smack your lips, or in Mickey Loomis's case, smack your gum and act like you have all the answers. Because over the years, you have proven without Sean Payton and Drew Brees, you don't have the answers. You're like Sway. You don't have the answers. So when you don't have the answers, you got to find somebody that does have the answers. And maybe, you need somebody that can go alongside of you so you can be able to figure it out together. But all I'm saying is this same old song and dance, this same old, run over, ridiculous regime that feels like they still got things under control, it needs to be blown up. Like, we want to talk about from players and all that kind of stuff. The whole team needs to be blown up. Like, by team, I mean front office too. I do not feel like Jeff Ireland should be back with the New Orleans Saints in 2025. I don't. He probably will be, but if he is, then he definitely doesn't need to have the last word when it comes to the scouting. He needs to have somebody to go along with him. Because despite the fact that you had Telas Sefuaga, you were able to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. I mean, who else in the draft? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else in the draft are we relying on? Bub Memes? Like, what are you doing? This man ain't hitting it out the park. I mean, you're not. So if this was any other team, Jeff Ireland would have been fired. If this was any other team, Mickey Loomis would be fired. That's a fact. That is absolute fact. I'm gonna read a few more, then we can go ahead and get up out of here, folks. If they don't get on this early, we'll be in the Chitlin Bowl next season. Says facts. Jerry is laughing. Kool-Aid Pooh Brutton. Man, no, he's not. No, he's not, man. Like, I want you to understand this. And we gotta stop. We gotta stop this, brother. We gotta stop this, T. Lord. And look, you're entitled to your opinion. I ain't trying to sit up here and knock your opinion, but I'm speaking from my personal perspective. I think that we just need to stop this. What we do is we look at certain individuals, we look at them, and we see how they perform at a young stage of their career. If they shouldn't, like, let's just say Sauce Gardner, for example. He ain't having the best season in the world, but the first couple seasons, he was locked down, shut down corner, and everybody was saying that he's the standard, right? But now he's struggling. But the thing about it is, like, it's okay if guys come into the league and they don't find instant success, or they're not locked down, shut down the way that we want to, or they're not rushing a passer as much as they want. Like, rookies are going to struggle. Like, that's just the reality. Rookies are going to struggle. You'll probably have a few rookies that it just seems like they just get it together, but eventually they're going to struggle. Look at C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud looked like Jaden Daniels does this season. But look at him this year. He's been struggling. So all I'm saying is, like, yes, Kool-Aid McKinstry has been beating coverage from time to time. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been out of position, but he's young. And everybody is not going to come into the league getting it right away. I just think that we just need to practice patience, man. We got to be able to, like, I get the name. I get the institution that he comes from. So with that, you feel like, man, he should get it right away. But that's not the case, man. Like, it doesn't matter where you come from. You got grown men out here that understand the speed of the game. They have been coached up. They have burned the midnight oil. They have spent countless hours learning how to counteract what a safety is going to do, what a cornerback is going to do. Those guys got to catch up. My thing when you're talking about rookies and when you're looking at them, to me, this is the question that you need to ask. And like I said, this is my perspective. Is what they doing, can it be improved, right? Are they improving on what they're doing on the field? The good things that they're doing, can you build on that? You know what I'm saying? Are they just so completely lost in translation? And that's not the case with Kool-Aid, because he wins some of his matchups and he loses some of his matchups. So to me, it's not like, oh, I'm just going to throw him away, because I don't care how good you are. Like, we've seen Marshawn Lattimore. Like, we know Marshawn Lattimore is the greatest cornerback in New Orleans Saints history. But we've seen him get worked by Justin Jefferson. We've seen him get worked by Cooper Kupp on countless occasions. Adam Thielen. We've seen this. But does that change our perspective about Marshawn Lattimore? No. No, it does not. We still look at him as the greatest cornerback in New Orleans Saints history and still one of the best cornerbacks, when healthy, in the National Football League. So all I'm saying is, man, we got to be able to be patient with these young cats, man. I know I think it's frustration combined with the draft process, T-Lord. I think that's what it is. Like, we've been talking countless hours about the mismanagement of the draft picks. And I think that has gone into our psyche. And now it's like, man, look who they drafted, man. Now he ain't looking like that. And so now it's like we're not giving these players the opportunity. I'll see some good things out of Kool-Aid. I just think that he just needs to go through the motions. I just think that he needs to go through the motions. But I also feel like we need to understand that guys are going to get smoked. That's just what it is, man. Like, these wide receivers get paid a lot of money to catch the football. They get paid a lot of money, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, they get paid a lot of Skrilla. So you're gonna have some cornerbacks that get beat. I seen Patrick Surtain get beat. He more than likely gonna be defensive player of the year. Now, it's just, if you play long enough, you will get smoked. We won't let the Bourbon Street tragedy kill our spirits, but always condolences to them victims. Yeah, definitely condolences to those victims. Man, that's just so senseless, man. I just never will understand the evil of people. Like, man, if you feel like you ain't got nothing to live for, man, don't take somebody else out that has life, that looks at life having meaning, have spirit, have spunk, like they're looking forward to another day. Like, life can suck sometimes. Like, man, we all go through it, right? Bills need to be paid. Sometimes we don't know where that money coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, jobs suck. We always looking, maybe we can find another job that appreciates us more, maybe give us more income. Like, there's always things that we can look at in life and be like, man, this is unfortunate. But guess what, man? Not one time should we be sitting up here talking about running somebody down because we're miserable, because we ain't got nothing going. Like, those people did absolutely nothing to him at all. Those people just were looking for a good time on New Year's Eve, trying to bring in 2025. And I'm pretty sure not in their wildest dreams did they think that they will have lost their lives, man. It is just sad. It's unfortunate. And it just makes you just hate the fact that, you have these type of individuals in this world, man. I don't even understand, like, what you feel like you're going to accomplish from this. Like, what are you trying to accomplish is my question. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, you think that, I don't know, like, everybody's going to be paying attention. Like, events, like, I'm being honest, man. No matter how much, we talk about these things and these situations, you never, like, over the course of time, you have a tendency to forget those people's names. Like, it's sad. Like, the people, like, man, it's always like, you remember that dude that did, or you remember that lady that did. You don't remember their names. So you just gonna be a footnote. But it's unfortunate that these people had to lose their lives because you don't value yours. So I don't get it, man. I just don't. But rest in peace to those individuals. Prayers go out to their families. Just don't make no sense at all, man. Just don't make no sense at all. I don't want to end on that note. So I am going to say this. Despite them playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the fact that some of us, we can't stand the Buccaneers either, I think that we all can agree. Our disdain for the Falcons outweighs our disdain for them Falcons. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. I ain't trying to see the Falcons win absolutely nothing. No, just look, Archangel, much love to you, bro. But I'm pretty sure the feeling is the exact same way. If I can bring some misery to the Falcons, I'm about it. All right. If I can take one moment to laugh a little louder at them Falcon fans, I'm about it. If that means that I'm sitting on the couch, the Falcons can sit on the couch, you best believe I'm about it. All right. So I hope that the Saints put forth some type of effort. I hope we see some excitement, a little bit, but not enough excitement to get the Falcons to the playoffs. But thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Look, y'all already know my name is Timothy J. Jones. I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and you can subscribe to the channel. You probably passed through and were like, man, who is this dude with this Saints ski hat on? Is yours truly. And you can subscribe to the channel. We're a very, very, very interactive podcast, as you can see. And we need individuals like you to come along on this Saints journey with us. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Also, you can follow me on X at TJAY Jones 8. Also on Blue Sky at TJAY Jones 8. And remember, coming up this Wednesday and every other Wednesday going forward will be Saints Talk with Timothy J. Jones on Bleacher Report every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Come on over. Come talk to your boy. We're going to be doing it like we're doing it here, man. We're going to be taking phone calls and all that kind of stuff once we build up, that audience there. So we'll be happy, and I mean happy, to have you to be a part of that. I'm extremely excited about the next chapter of podcasting for myself as well as you, the Who Dat Nation. All right. So y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And like always, all I got to say is, Who Dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.